Hello and welcome back to a new episode at Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, Ahmed Assaf, and today we have an amazing guest, Dr. Luissa Kiprono. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Ahmed. I'm doing great. I think I am not pronouncing your first name right.
Dr.
The
Luisa.
accent. No, my accent. No, your name, Ahmed, correct?
Okay. Ahmed, yes. Usually in Arabic, it's Ahmad, they say, but
Ahmad.
yeah, but it's
Actually, it's
okay.
easier for me to pronounce Ahmad, believe it or not. Just because my language, just like yours, is very phonetic. So I struggle when it becomes Americanized, the names, but Ahmad, it's so much easier. So may I
So,
call you Ahmad?
yeah, it's perfect. So this is a
Perfect.
great beginning.
Yeah, and my last name is Kiprono, not Kiproni.
Kiprono, yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for letting me know.
Yep.
So today, I want the audience to listen very carefully. And at the beginning, let them open their mind, open their heart, and write their goals. Because today we'll be talking about lots of limited beliefs that we have that's stopping us from achieving our goals. We'll be talking about the mindset and how to have this open growth mindset and not a fixed mindset. And we'll be discussing also more about the persistence and the resilience in achieving our goal and pursuing our goal. So most of us today, doctor, and from your experience, we want more, but we're doing less. We want to achieve this goal. We set the goal. We work for like a week and then we go back to our old image. We are go back to our old habits. So we are always looking for more, but we're doing less. What is the root cause of that problem?
It is very hard to change human mind.
Mhm.
See, we are in a way, gluttony for the little change that we can possibly achieve with the same or even better results. The more we want to do that. And why is that? The brain, it's a very lazy organ, the laziest organ of our whole body. Just think about it. I sometimes I call it the prima donna. Why? Because it demands the most amount of oxygen. It demands the most amount of rest. It demands, like, it has its own demands, right? But when it comes to pushing it, it always resists us, right?
Mhm.
So when you need, just take a race, right? Take a race where you train. Like I train for my Ironmans, but really you can be at the top of your game physically. If mentally you have not achieved that mental toughness to accept, for your brain to accept that, yes, I am going to take this body through 140.6 miles of torture at my own will or device, or take this brain through 15 years of school to become a specialist physician, like in my case, you're never going to accomplish it. It's just as simple as that. So our minds need training. We need to train our minds to accept the new and embrace it. And it is amazing how much, like with everything else, it's amazing how much you can do once you push it further, but second, you keep at it. You keep pushing at it because otherwise it tends to reverse. It's so easy to fall back into, like you said, the status quo, to sleep longer in the weekends. Hey, it's the weekend. We can sleep longer. Now, by default, we do, even if it's half an hour. And studies have shown that the more we allow ourselves to have those variations, the harder it is to maintain a schedule or to maintain a habit. Because again, on Monday morning, you want to revert back to that 5 a.m. routine, and Monday or Tuesday is going to be you're not going to feel it as much. It's in a little bit less to be felt, but it is. You are you know, encountering a resistance. By Wednesday, you get back into the groove. Thursday, Friday, now Saturday, you're doing the same. So many studies, data shows that if you really want to keep that kind of schedule in anything you do have to have consistency. I usually, what I say is, do you think of thinking in the morning to brush your teeth? No, because it became such a habit that you're not even thinking about it. You have to do it. Same thing with, having a routine in the morning, having whether it's doing mindfulness, journaling, walking. In my case, running is like brushing my teeth. I get up and I do it. And it's very interesting what you say when you say, hey, the more we want to do more with less input, or less energy, with less involvement. Um, Persistence, perseverance, consistency. And I think that adding resilience into those words, it's really closes that cycle or circle. Resilience is a word that a lot of people throw around nowadays, because a lot of people believe that you just can pick resilience and say, yes, I'm resilient. Well, resilience again needs cultivating. You need to be able that after you had a really rough, not just one day, 1 week, 1 month, you still get up, dust off, and go back at it again and say, you know what, I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again until I get this done despite everything. That is the secret that you have to cultivate, or one has to cultivate. Otherwise, people think like, oh, I'm going to take this job, I'm going to take this project, and I'm going to finish it in the time set with flying colors with no hiccups. Well, that is just most of the time it's not happening. And at the very first sign of negativity, very first sign of, oh, I am stumbling, people give up.
Yes.
Because I'm no good. Why? Because those self-imposing limitations. We were, built through our lives as we grew up, right? In the beginning, we were, we felt like children. I think I mentioned to you that our prior conversations. As children, look at around us. They are fearless, they are mighty, they speak their piece. Sometimes, as my children grew up, they would say something like, I can't believe he just said that. Well, he said it because that's how he felt about it. It was free to think and say and express what he had in mind, because he knew there is no really repercussions. That is really what's going on. But as you grow up, as we grow up, people, families, society starts building norms around us all. And I was fortunate that during my upbringing, whenever I messed up, because we do, whenever I messed up, whenever I had a shortcoming, nobody called me stupid. Nobody called me, oh, of course, you're just not doing it right because you never do it right. That is how kids then become self-limited, self-inflicted limitations that first are like words, then became our own thoughts, then became ingrained and form those habits that every time we stumble, every time we come short, we remind ourselves how limited we are, how stupid we are, how ugly we are, how non-par. And then it just becomes a character. So we as humans have to break that cycle, because we have to remind ourselves, no, everybody fails. If you don't fail, you don't move forward. How could you move forward if you never learned anything, right? And how do you learn? From realizing, oh, next time I'll do this better.
Yeah, but
And I
he's
really,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, tell me.
And I really believe that is where we are as a society, and where we need work to do as as young adults, as adults. We do not need people to validate us. We need to learn to validate ourselves, and for that we need the consistency, we need the persistence, we need to the kindness to allow ourselves to say, you know what, I messed up this time. I did, or I couldn't do it. Or, you know what, I just had a bad day. It's okay. Tomorrow is another day.
So I'd love to arrange it in a nice way because mind loves order. So if we want to think as a number one thing for our audience now, they are listening to us to take the like practical steps. Number one thing is to set that goal, right? And
Yes.
then go back and look to their habits. Are their habits productive? Getting them, pushing them toward their goal, or they're giving them energy, or they're draining their energy. So they will reevaluate their habits. And from that point, they will start installing new habit one by one. Is that what you mean, right?
It is. Not only that, exactly what you said. Mind loves order.
Okay.
Change is anything but order, right? Because now you take down that whatever order there is, even there is a bad order, it's still an order, right?
Yes, it is
So
order.
then when you instill change, you have to take it down, break it down, and start a new building, orderly building, but it's a new order. So like you said, yeah, it's that's why we hate change.
Yeah, and that's why the mind or the paradigm or the programming that we've been raised on, that genetically and even environmentally, is fighting and resisting whenever we make a decision to change. And that's why I
Mhm.
want our audience to understand that because we want more, but there's something is fighting and pulling us back to that laziness, to that comfort zone. But it's your responsibility as a human being of your results. It's not coming to you, it's from you, it's because of you. So you have to create the reasons once you have that responsibility. Now it's clear, it's a clear understanding why you're setting high goals, but you're not achieving it because you're not doing it. You're not doing the things, you're not doing the habits that are necessary to get to that point. And here's the key in your mindset.
It is.
How, with
And
all the daily tasks that we are being distracted, unwilling to commit, with lots of, daily things, we could have this, cultivate this growth mindset and have this be part of our identity, have this transformation as a part of our identity.
um, we have to we have to set up our expectations and our goals. Because without setting up what I'm about to do or accomplish, to have, what I say, my eye on the prize, will never be able to accomplish. It's like you calling me and say, Luisa, we're going to go somewhere today. I'm like, okay, where are we going? We're going somewhere. We're going to get there. Well, we're going to just start walking aimlessly, so we don't know where we're going, right? So the first thing is set up a goal, okay? Then you have to have realistic goals. I would love, to just say, hey, we're going to start today and we're walking and we're going to get to the moon. Well, that is not realistic. We can walk all we want. We'll never make it to the moon. So set realistic expectations. Second is be consistent. When I say be consistent, help yourself be consistent. Put the check marks. Make a list and say, today or this week, I am mean to accomplish this, 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 this. It's okay to make lists. Some people say, well, no, well, I can remember. What happened is you remember some, you won't remember all, but you remember them right before you go to bed. And then you cannot fall asleep because now you keep thinking, I don't want to forget that. Now, if you commit them to a piece of paper, you don't have to worry about forgetting it because first thing in the morning, you're going to see the piece of paper that actually has that line.
Mhm.
Be patient. Patience is a virtue. It is also a sign of mental maturity. Now think about when we were kids, right? We want everything yesterday. Want
Immediately.
everything today.
Yeah.
And I used to tell my sons, I'm like, okay, when you're going to grow up and mature, then you realize that instant gratification, it's not giving you what you really want. So you have to learn the mastery.
Mhm.
to embrace delayed gratification. The higher the price and the more it takes, as in, because the bigger the price, you will have to work harder. I'm sorry to tell you that, and longer,
Yes.
because it is a bigger, it's huge. But you have to, if you consistently and patiently work at it, you're gonna get to it. A lot of people break down at the first sign of failure because they're not patient. Our society wants things yesterday. Everything is so fast. Everything is like, I want it today. Well, why do I have to wait? I mean, the other day I was using a lift, the lift system, to get you from one place to another. And now they have it stratified. If you want this car now, you pay an extra $10. If you want this car in 5 minutes, you pay less $5. If you want it in 10 minutes, you pay less $10. Hey, I'm not in such a hurry to be there right away. Just I can wait. And then if you pick the cheapest or the least expensive one, guess what happens?
Get the
I'm
same
like,
thing.
yes, it's like, oh, you save money and you pick the cheapest one, but here, I have it ready for you in 3 minutes. Aha. So,
They are playing on the emotions,
Mhm.
it's a
Yes.
matter of because 98 to 96 to 98 of our behaviors, perceptions, and results are coming from our subconscious mind, and we're letting on only 2 to 4% are coming from conscious mind. So whatever going on in the subconscious, whatever you're involved with, you'll be just doing it. And if you keep doing whatever you're doing and thinking in the same way, you keep getting the same results. And as you said, this generation, including mine, always want fast results. If I put a post on LinkedIn or anywhere, I want likes. I want feedback. I've even at work, even so it's going very fast because of the technology. I want replies. I want to have the answers very fast. But there's a law that gestion law said that everything takes time. Everything.
Right. You're right. I mean, it is so true. And to continue on what you asked me, be kind. Be kind to yourself again, because if you're not, you're just going to beat yourself, silly that, oh, I didn't do this very small thing, or I took a break. Um, and, what a mentor of mine told me long, long time ago. It says, Lisa, it's okay to take a break.
Hmm.
Just think about driving on the highway, and you're going to see exit here, exit there, stop and get a coffee, stop and get gas, stop and rest. It's okay to take that exit. Just don't get stuck on that exit. Don't stay too long. So, go back on
That's
that
very important.
highway so you can get to your goal.
That's so essential.
Yeah.
And here I love to ask you that some people want to reach their goals sometime alone, but sometimes you need help. Maybe, and I always like give that example of that fly that trying to pass through that window, and she's flying very hard. It's not about trying to fly harder, but maybe on the opposite side, like maybe 2 meters on the opposite, if it fly the opposite side, it will go to the freedom. So the thing is not about working harder. And here, I would love to hear your insights about that. The necessity of asking for help and going for a specialist or like a mentor, a coach, and what would be the process of that and how to choose the best that fits us.
I am a true believer in the power of community and the power of a mentorship. Um, we don't know everything. None of us knows everything.
Exactly.
And we know we need to humble ourselves and understand, no matter how much you read. I mean, how much possibly can you read about everything, right? It will take your whole life just to read. But you also have to live. But as I say, like when I go to the doctor, just think very simple, right? I'm a physician. I'm a high risk pregnancy physician. But when I go to a doctor that it's as a patient, it's not my specialty, right? I want to be the patient. And a lot of physicians says, well, I don't have to tell you that because you're the doctor. I said, no, I am your patient.
Yes.
I can't treat myself because I'm not an orthopedist. I am not a GI doctor. I know I am not a neurologist. I come here because I need your help as a physician. If so, just pretend I don't know anything. I am the layest person on the earth. But a lot of physicians or a lot of, let's say, medical personnel, they come in offices, they come in my office and they pretend that they know everything. I'm like, how could you let me do my job? So what I'm trying to say here, it's okay to ask for help, receive help, and open yourself to others, people's input, whether that is a coach, whether that is a therapist, whether that is a mentor. There is always something to be learned. Smart people, wise people learn from everything and everybody. And that to me is a very big tenet. It's okay. You can learn, Ahmad, we can learn from our cleaning lady. We
Yes.
can learn from the guy who does our lawn, okay? As much as that we can learn from the Nobel Prize winner. Everybody has a different lens or from ours. And I have been always, and I have practiced this as a leader. Hey, I'm asking this lady that works in my front desk, hey, what do you think about this? And you know what I get? Dr. Kiprono, you actually asking me, the scheduler about this? I said, I need a different lens. I need a different perspective because then when you like, I didn't think about it because we humans have this tendency to think that only my way is the right way after a while, right?
We always have like those blind spots. We always have those blind spots, and that's why we need always great mentors around us. And this is what
Yeah,
Warren Buffett said. With all his successful businesses and his financial experience, he said that we always need great mentors around us.
that's
And
true.
it's okay to ask help.
Mhm.
It's not something because some of them they are shy of asking, some of them they say, I know that. And this will lead to a very bad places if you know everything, if you pretend you know everything. So this life experience is just like a school. Every day wake up, just go and learn something new and just be open, have this open mindset to learn daily. Otherwise, you'll
It's
be going down.
backwards. And
Yes.
you know, you're right. It's not only learn something daily, every day pick something that you really don't want to do. It
Mhm.
can be something trivial, right? It can be like, oh God, I have to go, I don't know, make breakfast, or I have now to take out the trash, or I have now to cut the grass, or I have now to, I don't know, write this extra essay. But do that because it's a really good exercise on resilience. So like, oh, you'll feel so empowered to by the end of it, like, okay, I've done it. I don't want to do it, but you know what? Now it's done. I don't have to think about it. Or you go for a run. I
Yeah,
go back to
let's give this
runs.
as an exercise then. Let
Yeah.
every our audience now, let every let's say 90 days, you could make a shift in your life. So now
Yeah.
write down, get a paper, write your goal, set what is the number one belief that's
Mhm.
holding you back, limited belief in yourself and your conditions, whatever it is, because there's
Yes.
no something limiting you from your goal other than you. Write it down and work opposite to it. And the second thing, what skill set you need or you should have to achieve your goal. Just write it down and start working toward it.
And that's funny that you say that about goals and writing it down. And do one piece at a time. When I counsel my patients, a lot of the times we discuss about obesity and how to make lifestyle changes, and even friends and colleagues, and they say, well, it's too hard to do this every day. Okay, it's too hard to like for my patients. I said, walk 20 minutes a day, walk a mile a day. and brisk walking. It's like, but that takes a while, and I would like to do 3 miles or 4 miles. I said, well, let's do this. Every day, increase your walking by 0.1 miles or a block. And think what will happen after you increase that
Yeah.
every day for 365 days.
And here it would be a great example to tell the people to every day get 1% better.
That's it.
But the point is, and the trick here is to define what is the 1%. Let's
That's
say
correct.
now in your case, I will walk like 100 meters extra or like a
Mhm.
half a mile extra, let's say. So you have to define what is the
What
1%.
is
Let's
your
say,
goal?
yeah.
Yeah.
And in that way, you always be like growing, and it's a
Mhm.
continuous thing that it never stops. It never stops. So, Doctor, what would be your last message to our audience?
Believe in yourself. Embrace the possibilities. Overcome and influence the world because it's your world.
I love it. Thank you, Dr. Luisa, for this amazing episode, and looking forward to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmad. You have a great day.
Thank you.